Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm William.
This is the podcast where we talk about all things tabletop role-playing games.
And today we're venturing forth into the Plane of Magma. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeoncast.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Will.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm embodying some heat right now.
It is quite hot.
We
getting
like to
hotter.
We like to comment about how hot it gets in the studio, in our Southern California studio, where we're hitting temperatures of 100 plus on the daily. And
on the daily.
It's July.
It is July.
We're kicking ass.
It's
and getting through it anyway. So what are we talking about today, Will? I sort of hinted at it with the heat.
So today we are going to play a game called The Floor is Lava.
Sick. I love that game.
Because where we're going, the floor is literally lava.
Oh, okay. Not when it's literally lava. Do I like it? That sounds hard.
That's right. We've done ooze, we've done ice, and we've done smoke. And now it's time to venture forth into the final of the 4 para-elemental planes.
All right.
The para-elemental plane of magma.
Magma.
If you have seen our other para-elemental episodes, you would probably guess that this place is terrible. No one should ever go here, and the things that do go here have a tendency to be just as terrible. And you would be right.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate for like any kind of demonic plane.
Yeah, any plane outside of the material plane is, don't mess around.
Unless it's an upper plane, you still don't mess around.
I wouldn't mess around, no.
Yeah, but it might be at least okay to chill in.
That's true. But we're diving into this hot liquid magma sea so you don't have to, or so you can get a glimpse of what your dungeon master is about to subject your character to.
Yeah.
So join us as we get into it.
This is going to be Dr. Evil's favorite episode.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we don't have a laser shark episode.
We don't.
No. Can you tell me the basics of what this para-elemental plane of magma is?
I can.
Thank you.
So the para-elemental plane of magma, also known as the fountains of creation, or the plane of magma, is the inner plane at the intersection of the planes of fire and earth. The para-elemental plane of magma is a bubbling, churning mass of molten stone, volcanic rock, sulfurous fumes, and searing heat. It is not a place that most outsiders or even other interplanar natives would ever want to visit.
Same, yeah.
Imagine a vast sea of boiling rock. Plumes of smoky fire rise from the glowing surface of the morass to create an atmosphere primarily composed of a thick fog of molten stone laced with deadly fumes.
I'm imagining it.
Good.
I am.
Good. Here and there, islands of basalt or obsidian resist the naturally destructive nature of the realm, but most everything is consumed by the extreme heat and flames very quickly.
Ooh.
The plane is also fraught with vast mountain ranges of volcanoes, especially at the border of the plane of earth, and some that extend well into the plane of fire.
Okay. So I'm seeing it. It's a little bit like our studio, like we said at the beginning.
A little bit, yeah.
But I want to know more specific things about. Yeah, it is. It's kind of hot. I want to know more specific things about like the locale of here. What does the land space look like? What is our geography?
The geography. So as with the other para-elemental planes, the plane of magma is divided into 7 distinct regions. The heart or center of the plane is purely of the plane's namesake, magma. Magma for as far as the eye can see. But as one ventures from the center of the plane and towards its border planes, the influence of the neighboring plane becomes more and more apparent. For example, when one travels towards the elemental plane of earth, the magma becomes thicker and flows more slowly. The rising plumes of fire become less frequent, although a haze of volcanic ash gradually begins to fill the air. The juncture of the two realms is an area of basalt cliffs and spires rising above rivers and lakes of molten lava. This region is known to most as the Scorched Wastes. Apart from the occasional fire elemental or hermetic salamander, practically nothing lives here. Moving away from the center of magma in the other direction eventually brings the traveler to the elemental plane of fire. As the journey progresses, the magma grows even hotter than the plane's heart and more fluid. The nearer one draws to the plane of fire, the more frequent the fire eruptions that dot the paraplane. In the end, at the point where the two regions meet, the atmosphere is awash with a haze made wholly from searing droplets of molten stone. This deadly place is known as the Searing Mists and supports no more population than the Scorched Wastes.
Okay. So only things that can really tolerate the heat live here.
Yes.
So, but not like a dragon because it's a wasteland. Dragons don't really like, well, I guess they kind of like.
There would be, number one, red dragons might love it here.
Okay.
They really might. Number two is they haven't really introduced this in 5th edition, but in previous editions there have been epic kinds of dragons that are like primal dragons, primordial dragons, cataclysmic dragons they've been called. And they're dragons that really kind of like what's the word?
They're more chaotic.
They're more chaotic and they permeate these elements, right? So
I
you
see.
might have like a magma dragon would live here.
Sure.
So stuff like that.
Okay. Where does a magma dragon keep its hoard if everything that it wants to collect will melt?
Well, it might have like a cooler dugout location deep inside a mountain if it really needs its gold to not be
Okay.
or it might just have a nice little gold pool.
Yeah, liquid gold. Liquid gold.
Yes, indeed.
It
yeah.
loves gold.
It loves gold.
And my last question isn't like this stuff kind of like hot earth?
Yeah, it's basically hot earth. Yeah. And that's why it's at the conjunction of fire and earth.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
It's a
that makes
paraplane,
sense.
yeah.
It's hot. Okay.
It's a mixture of two elements.
And that's why it goes into the plane of fire. Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm all cleared up.
All right. A traveler heading in the direction of the positive energy plane can move toward the quasi-planes of mineral or radiance. Both routes are marked by dangerous terrain. In the case of the plane of mineral, the surface of the lava gradually cools until it forms a smooth plane of hard obsidian. Spires of volcanic glass and geode-like crystals soon rise out of the wasteland to form what the sages call the obsidian forest. The place is infested by evil stone creatures who, for one reason or another, have fled from their would-be ruler, the archimmental known as Ogremock.
Yeah, I could name a few reasons why you would flee from Ogremock.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. If a traveler opts to change course towards the plane of radiance, they will pass through one of the deadliest places in all of the inner planes, and some might even say the entire cosmos, the glowing dunes. This is a region of rolling hills, at first made up of volcanic ash. Nearer the quasi-plane of radiance, the dust becomes more metallic and gradually begins to radiate light and energy. Whatever the nature of these magical emanations, they present a deadly threat to every living thing. Those who travel through the area must make a saving throw. This is 2nd edition rules. Must make a saving throw versus death magic each day.
Death magic?
Any creature who fails this roll becomes afflicted with a horrible disease or curse. No one knows which for sure. Before long, nausea sets in. This is followed by blistering skin, hair loss, bleeding gums, blindness, and countless other nasty symptoms before the victim dies in 3d20 painful days. All in all, a more unpleasant death would be difficult to imagine. No cure, not even a magical one, is known to help, though rumor has it that a loam found in the plane of earth or a plant growing deep within the plane of water may alleviate the condition before the victim dies. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is essentially just radiation.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
poisoning,
I was like, oh, bleeding gums. Oh, no.
Yeah, the hair loss, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, moving on. In the other direction, towards the negative energy plane, the structure of the magma gradually breaks up. Near the quasi-plane of dust, it slowly cools and forms a vast desert-like expanse known as the Sands. Although this place is cooler than the rest of magma, it wreaks havoc on metal items and mechanical devices. As one moves through the sands toward dust, the particles become more and more powdery. They creep into everything and tend to promote rust and other corrosion.
Whose Arrakis is this?
I know, right? Seriously. Traveling instead toward the quasi-plane of ash, a similar transformation occurs. At the point where magma and ash truly come together lies a vast collection of chalky islands with streams of magma running between them. This is a difficult place to explore, however, for the islands are deadly stretches of frigid ash, while the rivers are hot, blistering channels of magma. This produces a checkerboard effect where regions of extreme heat are adjacent to those of numbing cold. A traveler will be hard-pressed to protect themselves against both hazards.
Yeah, that seems like trouble. This whole place, just like all the other parallel elemental planes, very hazardous to walk through.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we've kind of glazed over a few of what hazardous things might happen. But what are the specific hazards of these areas?
Well, let's get into it. So those averse to heat find it difficult to survive in the paraplane of magma for obvious reasons. From the point of view of many, this environment combines the worst features of the planes of fire and earth.
Yeah, subjectively speaking.
Yeah.
For a people.
For a people, yes. The first hazard you're going to deal with is breathing and vision. As a substance, magma is no easier to breathe than earth. Without magic, a visitor who journeys below the surface of the paraplane survives only as long as they can hold their breath. Of course, some might travel to might try to travel atop the magma instead, in which case they discover an atmosphere quite toxic. Anyone who breathes it without some manner of filter or magical protection must make a saving throw versus poison or die instantly. Again, this is 2nd edition rules where
it's very unforgiving.
It's very unforgiving. You're not expected for your character to survive to level 20. You're just not.
Okay. Well, unless you're highly prepared.
Unless
for
you're
some
very,
reason.
very prepared and very lucky.
You won't be.
Yeah. When moving through the blazing regions above the magma, creatures not native to the paraplane find the range of their vision reduced to only 120 feet. In most cases, native creatures can see twice as far. Below the surface, vision is impossible without magical assistance, ring of X-ray vision, for example. In either case, the heat of the paraplane makes infravision useless.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. It sounds like every 2nd edition game is a tragedy, like in terms of narrative storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a more brutal type of fantasy, right? So it's like,
Yes. Yeah. Like, can you imagine? I bet Qualish has the answer for you for traveling through most of these planes. If you want an apparatus in which to go through them.
Oh, yeah.
But can you imagine like a window getting punched out on accident and then like this smoke gets in there and now everyone's making saving throws and like your bard dies?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
No!
Like on one hand,
Tony!
Yeah, on one hand that's terrible. On the other hand, it's like, holy shit, guys, we survived that. Like, oh man.
Yeah, the wizard patches the window somehow and you move on.
Like,
but John's dead.
Yeah, we lost John, but like we made it. We got to keep going.
Yeah. Well, what else? What else do we got?
So next is the temperature. The heat here is nearly as great as that of the plane of fire. Any non-magical or unprotected flammable substances such as wood, paper, or cloth burst into flames within 1 round. When this happens, anyone wearing items made of such material suffers 1d10 points of damage unless shielded from injury by heat or flame. Magical items like scrolls or cloaks are allowed a saving throw at a penalty of -2 to escape destruction. Unprotected water and other fluids instantly boil away into vapor. Anyone exposed to these boiling liquids or their clouds of superheated steam suffers 2d10 points of damage. Magical fluids are allowed a saving throw at a -1 penalty. Non-volcanic stone that is not magical or protected in some way melts into magma in 5 rounds. This causes 3d10 points of fire damage to anyone unprotected, wearing or in close contact with the stone. Again, all 2nd edition rules. Again, all really painful.
Yeah, a lot to track here for a dungeon master.
Yes, and also nothing. So you'll notice in 5e, if someone's wearing it a lot of times cannot be set on fire or messed with magically.
Like anime hair.
Yeah, like anime hair. Yes, exactly. Like anime hair or anime pants most of the time.
Yeah. Well, DC pants too. Those things should not be staying on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
DC pants and Marvel pants.
2nd edition don't give a fuck about any of that.
No.
They're like, it's all on fire.
Fuck your pants.
Fuck your pants and your hair.
Your junk is out. Good luck with that.
Living creatures made of stone, such as earth elementals or golems, suffer 1d6 points of damage from the heat each round. Volcanic stone, which includes basalt, obsidian, and pumice, is virtually immune to the heat of the paraplane. Magical stone can survive as well, with a successful saving throw versus magical fire. See, like 2nd edition doesn't even give a fuck if it's magical. Like even magical things need to make a saving throw.
Hey.
Unprotected or non-magical metal items heat to the melting point in 4 rounds. This sudden increase in temperature causes 44 points of damage to anyone in contact with the metal and also might disable their limbs.
Okay, cool. God damn.
Magical metal items can escape this fate by making a saving throw with a +2 bonus. Now, you got to remember that you also are, a lot of spellcasters are getting spells and magic items that can help mitigate most of this stuff.
Yeah.
You want a wizard and maybe a druid and probably a cleric, all high level on your party if you can.
There were a lot fewer in-game rules compared to late 5th edition for operating with a disability. You know what I mean? Like losing a limb or like not being able to walk or whatever. Like that. You still in 5e, you are still a legitimate adventurer with those rules in place. But in 2nd edition, I bet that's probably a career ender. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably. Unless you're a wizard, you're probably good if you're a wizard.
Yeah, you're just a tensor's floating disc away from getting where you need to be.
Again, it lends itself to a more brutal style of gameplay, which is just as legitimate as any other, and every system is good at what it does. If it's a good system, it's good at what it does, and it doesn't mean it's good at everything. Moving on. Blazing clouds. Let's talk about those.
I love those.
On most prime material worlds, the sight of a cloud drifting lazily across the sky is a peaceful one. In the paraplane of magma, however, such things are extremely dangerous. Here, clouds are often composed of burning acidic vapors and raw elemental fire. Anyone who enters a blazing cloud must make a saving throw versus breath weapon or suffer 2d10 points of damage.
Dang.
Creatures immune to or protected from either fire or acid are allowed a +4 bonus to the rolls. Those immune to both fire and acid are safe from the cloud and need not make a saving throw at all. Oh, good for them.
Okay, yeah.
Good for those fire acid elementals.
Indeed.
A successful saving throw cuts the damage sustained in half. Those who remain inside a blazing cloud need to rethink their life choices and must make a new saving throw every turn.
Yeah, you're chasing a high you'll never get.
You'll never get. You won't come back from that one.
This isn't the blazing cloud you thought it was.
It's not. Behold the blazing cloud.
Oh, it sounds sick, bro.
Oh,
no,
God.
wait.
Bubbles and geysers. While on or above the surface of the paraplane, a traveler must be mindful of the roiling, seething nature of the magma. Each turn, there's a 10% chance that a bubble of magma explodes near them, or that a geyser of magma blasts up in their vicinity. Even a person immune to the heat of the molten rock sprayed all over them must make a successful save throw versus petrification or be flung up to 3d10 feet away by the force of the blast or pressure.
That's 3d3 meters.
My bad. I forgot about the metric stuff. I'm sorry,
Well,
man.
you can't metric a number you don't know.
That's true. That's true. You can't. You're right.
So I metric the dice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everybody loves their metric 3d3.
Absolutely. Next up, let's talk about just travel in general. The fact that gravity exists in this paraplane makes getting from one place to another rather difficult. And a lot of other planes, you're just floating and you can kind of will yourself in a direction.
Right, the plane of smoke.
Yeah.
You can William yourself in the direction
Yes, you
wanna
can.
go. Yeah.
Unless one has some means of flying through the deadly atmosphere, they must navigate the lava sea. In order to do this, they must secure some manner of ship that can withstand the heat. In most cases, this requires a magical conveyance of some sort, but some artificers insist that technology can also fill the need. It is possible to travel beneath the magma rather than above it, thanks to one of the great secrets of the paraplane. A network of hardened lava tubes extends throughout the bubbling, still liquid magma. While the temperature inside the tubes is extraordinarily hot, and non-native can usually travel through the link passageways more easily than through the magma itself. The tubes even contain air, though it's just as toxic as the rest of the paraplane's atmosphere.
Hell yes. Okay, well, that was informative and sounds incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, not a pleasant place.
No.
I feel like devils would even be like, kind of sucks here. Like, it's not the worst, but also it's kind of sucks here.
I forgot my lava shoes. It's really hard to walk around.
Can I go back to Avernus now? All right, let's take a short rest.
Okay. We've returned.
Indeed we have.
We're fucking back.
Indeed we are.
Will, take me to who? I know we tried to talk about who, but who the fuck is in this nasty, nasty lava place?
Let's go over the inhabitants. So the paraplane of magma is not heavily populated. Big surprise. The most common creatures here are, of course, para-elementals and mephits, with the rulers of the paraplane being, without a doubt, the vicious magma mephits. While other races, including fire mephits, wage endless battles with the magma mephits, their vast numbers seldom permit defeat. It is then little wonder that their leader, Chilimba, who likes to be called the Searing Emperor, the first general of the Cauldron, or the master of all mephits, is the most powerful entity in the paraplane.
Okay.
So we have another Ekak situation here where it's just a mephit that's just
I was going to say,
over.
what's up with these like power-hungry mephits?
They're trying, man. They
They're
want to
doing
be
their best.
archelementals. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing their best. Magma para-elementals, along with their cousins from planes of earth and fire, are not uncommon. In the interest of survival, though, they generally avoid the reigning mephits. When those races do come into contact with each other, battle almost always erupts.
Okay. So we have big personalities and little bodies.
Yes, definitely.
Pretty much.
That's kind of the mephits thing. Yeah, for sure.
Do they have like dogs?
Yeah, there are some animals. They're animentals.
Oh.
There's a large number of animentals.
I love those books growing up in the 90s. You remember the Animentals from the 1990s?
I've never read an Animorphs book in my life.
Oh,
but yes, I saw them everywhere.
They're like the sci-fi adventure equivalent of a Goosebumps book.
Yeah, that was the vibe.
Like the reading level that you're at.
But for some reason, was just very tied to people turning into animals. I mean, I guess it's called Animorphs, so yeah.
It's the main thing.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
It just felt so limited to me. It's like, I don't want to learn about this dude turning into a penguin. Like, I just don't care.
Oh. I mean, it's because of aliens.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Explain Animorphs to me. Why can all these people turn into animals?
Alien slugs in their ears.
Really? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
That's gross. Let's move on.
No, wait. That the... Oh, sorry. It was like a power cube.
Oh, great. Okay.
You touch the power cube, you get the power. The bad guys were alien slugs in your ears.
Ooh.
That could also do the power.
You had two options.
I think they could do the power.
The gross way and the cube way.
You find out later that aliens are animals, and you can turn into the fucking aliens too. Like some of them are badass.
Okay, so now it's Ben
jumping.
10. Now we're Ben 10ing it.
Well, Ben 10ing was anamorphing. Come on.
That's fair. It's fair.
They call me Ben 10 because I have 10 Bens. That was a fun line from a new music artist that I've been listening to lately.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
All right, moving on. All right, there's a large number of animentals that can be found in the paraplane of magma, but few flesh and blood animals can survive here. Some regions of the magma sea are reportedly inhabited by schools of deadly fish that have been magically altered to enable them to thrive in lava. Did I hear sharks with laser beams on their head?
Oh, it's happening.
But no one seems to know the truth of this.
You can stamp that on your Austin Powers bingo card.
There you go. Gelterfish, a giant black skin fish, on the other hand, pose a threat to no one, even as they swim powerfully through the dense molten rock. They're immune to the heat, and no one knows what, if anything, they eat. Again, I couldn't find anything on these guys besides this like offhand mention of them. I'm like, what the hell's a gelterfish? I can't even find a stat block.
Gefilte fish. There's probably some undertow or like some wake like you might want to avoid from a powerful big fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Semi-trucking through the lava.
Indeed.
I mean, there's inherent risk in that description.
I agree 100%. It is likely that the reports of dangerous fish on the plane are actually Thoqua sightings. Thoqua are giant molten rock worms.
Oh.
They're like the purple worms of the elemental planes, made of rock and molten lava.
Okay.
These beasts aren't really animals, but they do swim through the magma, and they do sometimes attack others. It is said that the Thoqua seek only to reach the elemental plane of Earth, where they can burrow through stone, so the specimens sighted here may simply be migrating.
So they're lost?
Or migrating, one or the other.
Yeah, it doesn't detail why they would migrate the other way. It just says they want to go back to the rock place.
I mean, okay, maybe they're coming from a prime material plane and they're coming back to the Earth place.
We can't shit all the rock we eat over here because then we'll eat that and it'll be a mistake. We have to go shit it in the molten world so it can be filtered.
There
we can eat it again.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or no, I would, if I was a dungeon master, I'd be like, yeah, they come to the magma plane for mating behavior and rituals and then they go back.
Yeah, our babies need to be born in the hot place.
Yeah,
and then
is where their eggs are incubated.
That's a good one because then they migrate over there to do the babies, and then you see them on like hatch day,
migrating
travel.
back.
Yeah,
like the turtles crossing that beach to the sea.
Avoid the big fish, my child. Remember this when you hatch. Goodbye. They're like sea turtles.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't give a fuck about their kids. They just know they need to have them.
Yep. Blazons are small animate burning rocks that dwell here. Ifrit come to the paraplane to collect them as pets or watchdogs. Mephits and para-elementals domesticate them as well, though curiously, the Blazons hate and fear magmen.
I fear magmen.
I do too. But yeah,
those will be fun YouTube comments for this episode. I think we'll read those.
Yeah. So that's it for the non-humanoids. Let's talk about some of the more humanoid-ish creatures. Numerous nations of magmen spread out across the paraplane of magma. These folk often strike bargains with elementals and para-elementals and similar creatures, but they have no love of mephits. In addition to the magmen, great many fire giants have settled in the paraplane over the years. Most of them dwell in a vast fortress city known as Thermax, which sits at the nexus of a number of lava tubes, but a few scattered strongholds can be found in other places. When the Tao of the plane of Earth come here looking for slaves, because that's what the Tao do, they sail in obsidian ships atop the surface of the magma. They usually seek out magmen or mephits to take back with them. The Ifrit also make their way to the paraplane from time to time, and many stories tell of secret dealings held here between the two genie races, which is funny because those two are always at war.
Yeah.
Other rumors tell of a race of humanoids with dark blue skin that live amid the steam that rises from the magma. They speak not forward nor backward, but sideways, so no one has ever been able to communicate with them, not even through magical means.
Okay.
I have no idea what that means.
No one does. They didn't know either.
They didn't. It's just supposed to be like a weird thing.
What if we added some blue far elm guys?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I guess. Okay, so we have these like I can't. The Magmen, they're so gross.
Well, no, the lava children are gross.
Those are the Magmans are the cool little sprites.
Yeah, they're the little. Yeah, they're the.
I was
little
mixing
dudes.
them up. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I was like, I'd be negotiating with the fucking
The lava children. I'm not negotiating with. I'm running very far away from.
I would be because I'm scared. I want to do what they say a little bit. Get away from me. My negotiation is I do the thing you want and you fucking leave.
Yes, indeed.
Well, usually in these planes we've got like notable people that are like castling up or something like that.
Yeah,
do we have anything like that here?
We do. Let's go back to Chilimba.
Oh, that's right. We mentioned one.
Indeed. Master of the lava methods, Chilimba is as cruel and evil as tyrant as any that ever lived. Indeed, rumor has it that he studied the art of torture under the guidance of a particularly nasty pit fiend. By the end of his training, it is said, he was teaching that fiend new ways to inflict pain and suffering.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit, bro. A method? Are you sure this guy's a method?
Big personality,
Yeah.
little body.
A great deal of confusion exists regarding Chilimba's true nature. While he claims to be an archimental, there can be no doubt that he is of lava mephit stock. In all likelihood, Chilimba is a crossbreed, rather like a paralemental genasi. Chilimba makes his own. So that tells me that it's probably like a cambion mephit creature, right?
There's a little more to it.
Right. Chilimba makes his home in a fortress of basalt known as Caldera, carved in the image of an immense red dragon. The structure is protected by all manner of conventional and magical defenses. This is as much a tribute to Chilimba's paranoia as anything else.
Masochist is pain on others. Sadist is pain on you.
Oh God, yes. I want to say yes.
That feels right. This is Chilimba's like the ultimate masochist.
No, it's the other way
the
around.
Ultimate sadist.
Yeah, it's the other. Well, yeah, because if someone's sadistic, they inflict pain on others. But if they're a masochist, they like being hurt.
Chilimba's the ultimate sadist. They can teach other sadists new ways to be sadists.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. Next up, we have Corland Redblaze.
Okay.
Towering even above the rest of his kin, Corland Redblaze is the bravest of the Paraplane's fire giants. Although aggressive and somewhat brutal, Redblaze is not unreasonable. It is said that he grants an audience to anyone who desires it, but those who waste his time will know the full extent of his considerable anger. Redblaze is the commander of a large mercenary company of fire giants known as the Flaming Axe. He has augmented the natural might and fury of his followers with extensive training and top-notch equipment. Although the price of their service is high, no one could ask for a better force of troops.
Okay.
There's just a squad of red giant boys out there just being big red giants.
Just some fucking mercenaries kicking ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to bring the Costco name to all in the plane. I thought of Kirkland when you said Corland. It looks like Kirkland.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The Costco name.
Tell me about the cool places. Where can I go to? Well, I would.
I don't know if there's any place that is actually cool.
Yeah.
They're mostly just all very hot.
Yeah. I wouldn't chill here. I would.
No.
I would roast here. Where can I go roast?
Let me tell you about it. So the natural destructive essence of the Plane of Magma makes short work of most structures. There are a few places, however, that deserve mention. The first is the Fields of Nevermore.
Oh.
In one area of the surface of the paraplane, a crust of stone has hardened atop the magma. The place is known as the Fields of Nevermore. It's roughly circular with a diameter of about 60 miles, and the crust at the edges sometimes extends further into the molten sea in arms of stone that can stretch for miles. At the center of the fields, travelers from the prime material plane have constructed a city, Nevermore, around a device called the Chill Sword.
Hell yeah. I just spit a whole bunch when I laughed. That was awesome.
The weapon is a cursed artifact of great power that emanates an aura of cold in a 500-foot radius. About 40 years ago, the great hero, Vons of Lost Crag, thrust the chill sword into the crust, creating a habitable spot in the paraplane. The natural heat of the magma and the sword's chilling curse canceled each other out.
Nice.
Of course, the air still contains harmful toxins and is dangerous to breathe without protection, but that wasn't enough to stop the ambitious peoples of the prime material plane from building a small city within the cool, livable area.
Okay.
The buildings of Nevermore are mostly towers, many of them as tall as the sphere of protective coolness allows. In addition, the city has a more stable foundation than the rest of the fields, since the chill sword's power reaches down into the magma and cools it until it hardens at a hemisphere with a radius of 200 feet.
Oh, this reminds me of do you know, like, I'm sure you do, the like Charlemagne and the Knights of Charlemagne, like Roland, like the Knight Roland. He had like a fucking epic sword, and he was gonna die, so he fucking threw it, and he threw it like hundreds of miles because he's awesome, and it like embedded itself into like the wall. It's like this indestructible sword of this random French town. I only bring this up because recently I got curated a news article that says it was fucking stolen.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So somebody scaled a 100-foot wall and stole a sword that was embedded in the rock face, and the cops are all confused. This kind of reminds me of that.
That's pretty wild.
It's a very chill sword.
It is a very chill sword.
Yeah. It was like their Excalibur of swords.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The people of Nevermore charge exorbitant fees to those who wish to enter their city, and more money still for a breathing apparatus that lets a visitor inhale the toxic fumes of the paraplane, a device worn constantly by all the inhabitants. The population's largest concern is one of defense, since they have experienced attacks from magmen and even raiding Ifrit. The folk of Nevermore look for a way to establish a peaceful agreement with the magmen, but no one knows if such a thing is even possible.
Salamanders hanging out in here too?
Yeah,
probably?
definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
They're using the magmen a lot. Magmen are like coming around a lot.
Well, it is the plane of magma, so there's
Yeah.
that. But also fire salamanders tend to live in the plane of fire mostly.
Okay.
So next up, the monolith. If any single structure in the paraplane of magma confounds the scholars of the multiverse, it is the monolith. Although this gleaming black object is some 90 feet high and 30 feet across, it is only 10 feet thick. Many have remarked that it looks uncomfortably like a tombstone. The monolith is constructed of a black material that it seems to be as much metal as it is stone, as much glass as it is metal. In other words, no one quite understands what it's made of. In addition, the monolith seems to be completely impervious to harm. Rumors say that even the gods cannot destroy or damage it, though perhaps that's because none of them have actually tried. Some suggest that the monolith exists outside of time, which might explain why it never appears to change. None have any clue as to the origin or purpose of the structure.
Okay.
So this is like, do you want a little sci-fi in your fantasy world? Do you want like some weird alien eldritch being stuff? Here you go.
This happens out in the desert. Like, a monolith will be discovered, like a stainless steel one or whatever. Then someone will be like, "Oh, how did this get here?" But it'll only be like 10 feet tall. You know,
yeah, it's
like,
not as cool as this one.
Found like 6 of these out here. Weird, right? Like, you just fucking did a photo op with like some weird steel shit you found.
Yeah.
This is not that, but also still strange.
Yes. Next up, we have Ulan's Laboratory. One of the most unusual beings in the inner planes is a fiendish creature named Ulan. Born centuries ago on the prime material world of O-Earth. You say the O because they know.
You say the O, so they know.
So they know. Sorry,
Yeah.
Okay, my apologies. Ulan is a Sual Lich. This is a lich that has transformed their being into negative energy that can possess the bodies of others.
I see.
Although most of his kind try to hide their true nature from the outside world, Ulan takes no such precautions. His laboratory is small, but it's said that this undead creature knows more about magic than some lesser deities. Whether or not this statement contains truth, a wise man would probably not challenge him on the matter. After all, even the least powerful Sual Lich is still a mighty foe. The exact nature of Ulan's research is unknown. Apparently, he plans to keep it that way, for his laboratory is guarded by no fewer than a dozen smoldering golems. These golems are relentless in their duty to keep out all intruders by any means necessary.
Oh, man. Okay. So, evil wizard.
Yeah.
Check.
Evil wizard that's made of negative energy.
Yeah. Can exist here with his smolder golems.
Indeed. Last up, we have Targath's Tower. So the rogue Targath, excuse me for the pronunciation, I'm going to do my best. The rogue Targath Renume commissioned a number of powerful wizards to construct a tower for him in the paraplane of magma, paying them with the loot of a fabulous theft. Some say it was the moaning diamond taken from the Minotaur Lord Gyne.
Okay.
Why not? The wizards made the entire tower out of permanent invisible walls of force. The structure rises from the sea of molten rock with a number of levels below the surface. The whole thing anchors upon a huge chunk of submerged basalt and connects to the lava tube network. The magical walls keep out the heat and the toxic gases so Targeth can rest otherwise unprotected in his abode.
Oh, that's cool. I kind of like that, actually.
Mm-hmm. For a thief, Targeth extends a great deal of generosity toward travelers seeking shelter, particularly to planers who share his faction-related views. For a bit of news, we're going to get into his faction in a second. For a bit of news, he provides a night's rest away from the heat and even a fine meal. However, since the fabulous food and furnishings of the tower must come from somewhere, most folks agree that Targeth possesses a secret planar travel device. It could just be that the tower is built around a natural portal or two, but more than likely the thief has acquired a cubic gate or something similar. One fact is for certain. The pleasant, relaxed atmosphere within the tower presents a strange counterpoint to its bubbling, boiling surroundings, which are visible through the transparent walls. So, Targeth Renume was part... So, we've talked about this a little bit when it comes to the city of Sigil and how there are like these different factions, right? I can't remember the name of most of them, but they all align kind of with a certain alignment. Except for there used to be one faction called the Free League that was like, fuck all you factions. We don't believe in any of your dumb shit. I just want to be free. And Targeth was part of that Free League. The problem with the Free League is like, because that's everyone's attitude, the league fell apart because no one wanted to like adhere to any rules or laws.
I was going to say, like, you either did what you hate or that happens.
Yeah. So the Free League no longer exists, but Targeth still has those views.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's what a rogue is, so that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
I like Targath, probably one of my faves so far in the lore.
Hell yeah, Targath.
And, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I mean, weird. This cubic gate. We have not talked about like planar travel in this way. I don't think.
I think it's a magic item that can like open portals to like basically wherever you want.
Cool. It's weird that it hasn't come up in lore yet until now.
Yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't really.
I feel like Sigil would have. It wouldn't be like a super common thing there.
Let's see if a cursory search gives us anything on cubic gates.
Oh, you're gonna have to type D&D on that one, I think.
Oh, I did.
Oh, good.
Well, it's an actual item. It's a wondrous item, legendary.
Ooh.
This cube is 3 inches across, radiates palpable magical energy. The 6 sides of the cube are each key to a different plane of existence, one of which is the material plane. The other sides are linked to 2 planes determined by the GM. You can use one action to press one side of the cube to cast the gate spell, with it opening a portal to the plane key to that side. Alternatively, if you use an action to press one side twice, you can cast plane shift spell with the cube and transport the targets to the... Oh, so you can transport yourself or others, basically. The cube has 3 charges. Each use of the cube expends 1 charge. The cube regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. So yeah,
You could probably do a whole episode on planar travel.
It's a 6-sided planar travel device that you could travel to up to 6 different planes of existence.
We have a planar travel episode strewn across like many of our episodes.
Across almost 400.
Yeah. Well, more recent ones though, like the Gith and like
that's true.
Like what are they doing? Plane skate this item.
Yeah.
Walking really far, flying through the air until you transcend boundaries.
Yes. Okay.
Stuff like that.
You're not wrong.
That could be a whole episode on it.
Could be.
Probably not. Well, I mean, that's cool. You could use that. How else could you get to the plane of magma though?
So reaching the paraplane of magma is easier than entering most of the other para-elemental realms. Vortices leading here are fairly common as such things go. However, a few portals provide access to magma. So whether this is because of some difficulty in breaching the boundaries of the paraplane or whether it reflects the fact that not many people want to come here is a question yet unanswered. It's probably the latter one.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of portals here because not a lot of people make portals to here. No one wants to come here.
You gotta get deep throated by a volcano. Is what it sounds like.
Yes, essentially yes. The only publicly known portal is a basalt gate found in an isolated, unintended area of the Outlands. The Outlands again are like the neutral zone around Sigil.
Okay.
Yeah. So exactly who built the portal is a subject of some debate, for the opening is quite small. Medium-sized creatures have to squeeze to pass through it, and larger folks simply cannot make use of the thing at all. The portal key is a simple glass lens, but a traveler should think twice before opening the gate. It's a one-way journey from the Outlands directly to the fortress of Chilimba, the powerful tyrant, who's the closest thing the Plane of Magma has to a ruler. Chilimba is more than a little paranoid, too, and tends to have people killed as soon as they step through the gate. And I think that's fair. Like, you have a weird back door into your house that you don't want people to use. Like, that's immediately shoot on sight.
Yeah. Also, its name is very. This is like an active gaslighting tactic to be chill limba when you're so fucking not chill.
You're so not chill. If a planewalker isn't ready to present their case in a speedy and convincing manner, they might wish to find another way into the paraplane.
Okay.
There are more vortices to magma than to any other such realm. One exists at the heart of almost every active volcano. Of course, reaching such places may be a chore in itself, but if an outsider plans to survive in the paraplane of magma, they really ought to have no trouble with a volcano. Like, if
that's the entry level.
Yes, yeah, exactly. If you don't have what it takes to survive getting through the vortex, you're not going to survive the plane.
Right.
Brave explorers who come to the paraplane of magma often do so to collect the glistening leaves of Tandersol, a magical plant with a stem of pure fire.
Ooh.
Its golden metallic leaves hold a great deal of value to armorers, for they can be used to make scale armor enchanted with protective qualities, +3 bonus to armor class, and resistance to heat and flame. For those who need to pass through the magma below the surface of the paraplane, traveling through the system of lava tube tunnels is the best bet. Without a guide or an elemental compass, however, even a native can quickly become lost in the three-dimensional maze of virtually identical tubes.
I love this fucking super flower.
Yeah, it's a really cool, right? It's a really cool flower.
Yeah.
Tandersol.
I like that a lot.
It's pretty neat.
I don't like going into volcanoes, though.
Nope. Or to this place, for that matter.
No. So, like, my Fire Genasi player might be the most adept at getting through this.
Indeed.
Can maybe teach others how to be hot or accept heat.
You simply need to be on fire.
Yeah. You can be cool by not being
cool.
I'm not saying this right. Let me start over.
So that's all I have on the paraplane of magma, Brian. Anything you want to add or ask me questions about?
I want to take some tavern talk time.
Let's do it. Tavern talk time.
Here at our favorite booth in the Dungeoncast Tavern.
Indeed.
Which I've only ever been inside. I don't know what the name of this place is because I've never seen the sign on the outside.
Yeah, me neither. Strange.
Yeah, I suppose we could ask the people here, but that would be weird, huh?
It would be weird to talk to strangers. I don't like doing that.
Here. We only talk to Otube.
And that's only every other week.
Otube.
Actually, sometimes every week.
Otube the Bard has come with his Otube mailbag.
Otube.
Once again.
I can't believe that stuck.
I mean, you said it.
I did say it.
It's yours.
It is mine.
Hey, have you seen my slippies?
Joke child.
My slippies are super warm, and look, they look like little volcanoes where the toes are, and they're puffing little smoke rings.
Mine glow in the dark.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Are they radiating people?
I mean, they're radiating light. I don't know if that light is then cursing them magically or non-magically.
Let me know.
I haven't had them long enough.
When you pull your feet out of those slippies, let me know if your toenails are there.
Okay.
Or if they stayed
inside.
inside.
I don't even know. I'm already bald, so I won't even know if I have the hair loss.
Right, but the toenails, I know the gum bleeding thing with your braces is going to be a little obscure as well. So you're going to have to. It's going to be the toenails.
Okay, it's got to be the toenails.
I'm glad you like them. They're very fashionable.
Indeed,
blowing slippies. Let's read some Magman and Lava Children comments. This seems appropriate for this.
Yes.
Episode hasn't been out that long at the day of this recording. And
like 4 days.
Yeah, it's a little light in there, but I think it's okay. We're just gonna move on through it. We got Resolata 5139 hopping on here because I wanted to finally see those minis in your room. Not disappointed. I missed out listening on Spotify. We did have some weird feed drop things going on with this episode specifically. We recorded it earlier and dropped it
much
later.
Earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. So
as a matter of fact, this episode and that episode were supposed to be back to back weeks ago.
Right. Yeah. Things just didn't work out. Thanks. This Demogorgon mini, shout out to Demogorgon, was sent to us by a listener, and so was this Blue Dragon mini. There's another Demogorgon mini that got sent to us that's bigger than this one.
Way bigger.
Super glue didn't work on it. Something is up with that thing. Whatever was used to paint it is crazy. I'm I'm gonna try epoxy. I haven't given up.
All right.
I have epoxy now. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Hell yeah.
That's its own day where I need to open up and wait until night because it's hot. And then I gotta find a place to let it air out. Hopefully, like a raccoon or a possum doesn't knock it over because I do be finding them droppings in my yard. Yeah. Anyway,
the minis are nice. Thanks for looking at them.
I missed the dragon turtle mini. That was so sad.
That is sad.
It literally hit the ground and disintegrated.
Yeah,
it was so fucking sad.
It was a very cool mini.
I love that mini. I'll never forget it. It was hand painted, just like these. Sorry, I can't remember the names of the people that sent us the minis off the top of my head, but I think we thanked you when we got them by name. So thank you again. Check us out on YouTube if you're listening, because you can see the minis and put them out. The Mario Sack says, I still say clown shoe behavior.
Told you it's a thing.
I've been asking people in my day to day.
Yeah.
It's just one. I totally missed it.
Somehow missed you.
Yeah, I wasn't that big on Limp Bizkit and stuff. So
I only ever heard it from again View Askew films. That shit was clown shoes, bro. Sorry.
All right. JDR Vargo 287 says they timestamp 2830. While Ogremok and Ogramok are spelled differently, they are pronounced the same.
Joy.
Ironically, Ogramok was known for her agility and nimbleness, which rocks famously aren't. Just fair comment.
Okay.
She was also the second best warrior in the world, helping her master, the king of the world, who was the best warrior in the world, invade Ireland. Finn McCool defeated them both in single combat.
They weren't the greatest in the world, were they?
Well, not
until
Finn
McCool.
That was before Finn McCool came by.
Where's this comment?
Finn Mac Cool. They wrote
Hell
that.
Yeah, Finn McCool.
They wrote that. Finn Mac Cool.
Finn Mac Cool is a great name for a band.
Absolutely. Or just a guy that kicks ass.
We're Finn Mac Cool.
I'm Finn McCool. Time to fucking get knocked out. Blam. This is the guy that defeats Conor McGregor.
Do you think Finn the Human's based on Finn McCool?
No, but that'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Maybe that was Finn's long lost last name.
No,
I don't know how that lore works.
No,
sorry for traipsing on your territory.
We do have his last name, Mertens, Finn Mertens.
Well, then you know the fucking answer to the question you just asked me. You set me up for failure.
I did. I'm sorry.
Elliot Geltz, great episode, guys. Less than 3. That's not hard. Less than 3.
Oh, yes. That's all right.
Lava Children might be the worst things ever. Thanks, I hate it. Made manifest. Thanks, I made it was in quotes. Thanks, I hate it. Made manifest. Because thanks, I hate it is like a common response.
It's the Lava Children. They're talking about the Lava Children.
Thanks, I hate it. The second Anthony says, do you think Magmen play with Magmar when they go to the local lava pool?
Absolutely.
Of course. Justin My Pants 782 timestamps 3240 says Dragon of Icespire Peak is pretty good. The kids are enjoying it. It's my first time DMing a 5e game. My preferred edition is 4e, which is what my main campaign with my friends is, so I can't really compare it in quality to other 5e adventures. I picked this one because it seemed to be very structured with very straightforward goals. It's clear from the get-go what the goal of the whole adventure is. Kill the dragon. It has clearly defined quests that players can choose to undertake via a bulletin board in town. This helps keep them focused on, I love bulletin boards, helps keep them focused on what needs to be done, but also gives them some freedom as to what quests to complete first. The group arguing in town over which quest to go on next is always fun. I just downloaded a modular castle system to 3D print the ruins they fight the dragon in at the end of the adventure.
Cool
Looking
beans.
forward to their reactions to that. That's fucking awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard good things about Dragon of Icespire Peak.
Me too.
More than I've heard of Dragons of Stormwreck Island, which was like I think the latest D&D starter kit. Is that one? Not including the Fandelver remaster. I bought a box at Target once. It seems okay, but I never really heard much about it. Versus I've heard good things about Icespire Peak.
Okay. Miro Valian 2443 says one more and we'll hit 400. My patience is on fire.
Oh, God.
Thanks for another great episode, guys. We're reading this on 401. We didn't really do like anything crazy for 400. We're just slowly rolling out all the changes we said we'd start making at 400.
We're struggling to stay afloat versus actually doing something extravagant.
We tried the call and response, like Will's notes versus me.
Today.
And it seemed like it went really well.
That was good.
Yeah. So you guys can let us know if you like that style. We're thinking about just moving forward with that. It's a little more contrived, but I think it's better. It's better for me as a person who makes a thing. Wes, what the fuck? I always say the what the fuck, but it's Wes WTF.
Okay.
As I like saying Wes, what the fuck. I was the 69th person to like this video.
Hell yeah, you were.
Commenting on this. Nice. You already hearted and thumbed it. Nah, I niced it the way it needed to be. Cameron Pierce 5943. These are our regulars. These are who I would pick for closers. Is one of these guys.
All right.
There are some others that we'll get to. I can't wait to see the new elementals we're going to get in 5R. They probably meant 5E. 2024 to fill out the CR range. These two are great for low-level fire elementals, and I'd love to see equivalents for the other 4 elements or 4 elements adjacent, seeing as these guys are fire plus earth.
On the whole 5e 2024 thing, I am starting to see more and more and more of the 5.5. So I think 5.5 is winning the war.
Yeah, we're advocates of 5.5, but we'll see about that. We're fluid. We'll change, like Magma. The slacker named Jack. P.S. Dragons of Icespire Peak is awesome. Relatively easy to run, very node-based, so not as linear. Great intro to D&D 1 through 3 shot.
Nice.
They also left another comment that says, Magma, but cooler. Did you mean lava?
Is that how that works?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
We have a resident geologist on the show. They've made themselves known. I don't know who it is. They're not a resident. They just watch the show. That's what I meant to say.
Well, okay, they're technically right, because magma is molten rock that is underground. Lava is molten rock that breaks through the Earth's surface, thus being cooler because it's exposed to air.
There you go. It's like meteor, asteroid, meteorite.
Yeah, basically.
Like where it is in the...
Where it is, not versus what it is.
Yeah. Gersakun says, I love how much fun they have. I think they mean us. We love you too.
We love you too.
Moonring XD. Also, they left 2 comments. Let me.
They did? I see 1 here.
There's one, and then there's 2. See, I got 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Should I read them both?
Yeah, sure.
I'll read them in the order they came in, which is the one below. Counterintuitive. I never knew lava children were so terrifying before this episode. Before, I thought they were just little goober guys, and I had no idea they could just pass through the metal like a horror movie monster. I'll remember to put them in my next game.
Yeah, they're quite terrifying.
Also, I feel like you can make more parallel versions of lava children, like frost children that hunt you in blizzards with frostbitten faces and needle red teeth. Gross.
Sure.
Or ooze children that muck about in around dank, moist, dark sewers with bloated, slimy faces with tiny eel teeth.
That's disgusting.
Or dreaded smoke children who appear in a dark, smoky room at a corner of your eye, or where houses have burned down, covered in ash, and a creeping smile white face, and I will add, that try to sell you drugs. So many new ideas to scare my players. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Heart emoji, face emoji. Also, shout out to Demogorgon and Zix attached to homies. P.S. Also, sorry for this sounds incoherent. I'm at work and using text to speak.
Shout out to Demogorgon.
DWSP 101 says, I would love for you guys to do homebrew monsters as well. That sounds like Patreon stuff.
Maybe,
if we
yeah.
ever did. Will is inundated with homebrewing monsters, and he might need a break from that.
Yes, I am.
He's triggered.
David made like 80 at this point, and I got like 75 more to go.
Once Will takes a long, much-needed break from that, and he's ready to fucking smack it again, we'll slap it on Patreon.
All right, sounds good.
David Robertson 5996 says, slapping magma with your hand protected by a layer of water is called the Leidenfrost effect.
Ooh.
Geologist loving this episode, smiley face. There they are. This is the person I was talking
David
about.
Robertson.
They got 9 thumbs.
And 9 thumbs.
Got 9 thumbs in there.
Indeed, and 1 heart.
The up one. 2G33KS Gaming TTV3. DOIP equals Dragon of Icespire Peak. TOD is Tyranny of Dragons. It's very good. We needed that. Wolf Spider 9815 says, out of all the things you could choose to cover, you chose something. I listened on Spotify for context. Listened to this episode a couple of days ago. I don't fucking know. And had to look up this horror show, so now both me and my hun will never forgive you two.
Sorry, not sorry.
Also, P.S. Longtime fan, love you both.
Love you too.
Blue heart emoji.
Heck yeah.
Sure, why not? 2156 says generic comment. Thank you. Oh, here's Bryant Von Miller. We'll read the Bryant Von Miller comment.
I wouldn't. I think we should, as a rule, kind of skip his comments.
Oh,
personally. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll redact this.
Yes.
Last one. I didn't read them all, but I'll read two. Fuck it. Seraph Sans Seraph says, I was very concerned about bee piss till you explained it.
As was I until I figured it out.
They typed out bee piss.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm glad I went back to explain it. Okay, so level on Laban 6252 says, loving the year of the elemental. Been trying to write a Dark Sun adventure so these elementals feel like Defiler minions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know, but in Dark Sun, there are defilers and preservers. Defilers are magic users that use the life force of other creatures and defile the world around them. Preservers use their own and slowly kill themselves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark Sun's brutal.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's our Tavern Talk segment. Thank you for your YouTube comments. Please feel free to send us an email or leave Apple Podcast reviews to be read on this portion of the show. We're going to really promote the email side and any physical mail also, obviously. That's where we're at.
Yep.
So...
Long rest time?
The Dungeoncast.